Well, if you don't, you guys are getting very far. Let's go to Big Band. Now, let's be fair. Heretics also in the same boat, right? 0-2 start for them as well. So this will at least will get someone out of the neck of the woods for the time being. But both first seeds of their own region, Superliga and Ultraliga combined. As we get into pick ban, double 80 carry ban on the other side for Zero Tenacity to start things off. Getting rid of the Draven from Jack Spectra makes sense, especially in the 2v2 when they talked a lot about this guy from Team Heretics. It makes sense that they are focusing here for the strong part of the Spanish team.
With the bot lane bans, followed up by the Vibe ban coming from Heretics, I would not be surprised if they first pick an 80 carry for themselves, something strong for Jack Spectre just to open the draft up. But with like the Jinx ban, yes, it only leaves Zeri open, right? With the Vibe ban, again, it would make sense because Fi is one of those things that don't really allow Zeri to play.
True. Well, now that that's off the board, I mean, it makes sense that Team Heretics will just pick this up. As you said, start with an 80 carry here, and then for Zero Tenacity, let's see what the response is, if it is something mid-jungle for themselves as well.
Quite likely.
Had a bit of diversity. First pick of Aphelios. What year is it? Interesting. Oh my god. Jinx is not available, but Sion would indicate a potential lane swap. I mean, Lulu also available to pick up as well. But
Zeri. Hapun is a big Zeri player. That could be a Lulu Zeri picked for them in the first rotation.
Okay. Interesting.
Or Xin Zhao. That makes much more sense. Blue is a very big Xin Zhao player, almost an OTP at this point already. But now they are taking Lulu. That still indicates that Hapun wants to go for Zeri. But having Aphelios already looks locked in for Heretics, you know, it's not going to be stolen.
I just wonder, again, anything's possible these days. We've seen so much more diversity with lane swaps. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be the Jinx, Lulu, or Jinx and some other miscellaneous support. You know, Zach has indicated otherwise that you can play weak side as well. It doesn't always have to be on a lane swap either. So let's just hold our breath for the time being. For Carlson, it might just be the Zach picked up here nice and early. Jungle on the other side here, Solari. Like, are we going to get an early jungle? Maybe a Jax could be an option here, remembering that that is such a good pick into the Xin Zhao matchup.
We could get some more flex because Zach most likely, yes, is going to go to Carlson to the top lane, but at the same time, we have seen instances where Zach was going to the bot lane to be a support, so they could try to follow with this idea. I absolutely hate it, by the way. Zach support makes the lane absolutely unplayable, which is kind of the whole point, to be fair. Yeah,
to be fair, I mean, it is oppressive, would be a good way for Lost Heretics. I'll hold on to that thought because for now, we get the Folly Bear in the jungle. That has also been top as well as flex. We haven't seen Zach in the jungle for quite a while. As you said, Zeri on the other side for Harpoon is going to be locked in here with Lulu. So we get a pretty standard bot start, at least for Zero Tenacity so far. And some big power picks in the meta, I'd say. Strange draft start for Team Heretics. I mean, the Aphelios first pick has already got me scattered a little bit. And the fact that also Talia made it through to the second ban phase when, for all the ERLs, Talia is like first pick worthy, or at least it was. Before we got into 14-7.
That's true. Now it's a little bit less prior, but it's still a pretty high prior, especially against the champions that want to be moving around freely a lot. Like Zeri, for example, but yes, she's completely removed. And following up on your point about the draft from Heretics, this is Lost Heretics, and they have been creative with their drafts throughout the whole split. So that is something you should be expecting from them at this point. I'm
curious to see where it goes next. Udi locked in, okay.
No.
Well, that's not creative from...
No, not at all.
Well, for you,
it's
don't
disappointing
like
even with your...
I mean, Cassante, Sion both taken off the board, so I feel like they were like, well, what else do we have left? It was Gragas or Udi, let's be quite real.
Okay, yes, you're right. I guess you're right. And it's Melonic, most likely. It is just a possibility for Zero Tenacity to put him on the weak side that, you know, most likely he's not going to fall behind in the early game, so it makes sense here.
Okay, Rel going to be support. Because, again, I mean, also
she can't jungle anymore, right?
Does not jungle. It does not have the monster extra damage on Q or W. Like, Rel jungle is now rubbish. It does not exist anymore. I want to see how this rounds out. Certus has been someone else that I know you guys have been talking about a lot over the period of the week. On the Orianna as well, the ability to carry, we do have, you know, a lot of all-in team fighting once again.
Yes.
So exciting here for Team Heretics. On the other side, though, I just want to know what rounds this out. I don't think we're lane swapping. But
No, most likely we're not. This looks like a pretty standard composition. Just top
Azir?
stays on the top, and the Azir for the mid lane all the way on the R5. I'm not surprised to see Azir being picked for Zero Tenacity. Kofte is a very big Azir player. He loves his champion. He was struggling during the moment in time where Azir was not available in the pro play, but now that he's back in business, Kofte is back to business as well.
A lot of players are struggling with that, actually. You know, Humanoid from Fnatic was struggling. I mean, a lot of players were.
Yes.
Because that champion just, again, so good in lane, so good at team fighting, like has disengage, has engage, like has mobility.
Has range,
DPS,
a very nice range.
Like, you know, when you think about Azir, one of the most
What does he not have?
Burst? No, late game has burst. He has scaling. What does Azir not have? Friends.
He has his little soldiers. They call his friends.
Soldiers aren't friends. He's a dictator. Azir, they work for him. He's the emperor. There's no way they're his friends. They don't have a choice in the matter. Kofte's just going to bring them up, and they just have to be there. But hey, he will scale, and that's what he has. Birdman and down electric lady in the bottom side. They've got scaling. We know that. We know how this is going to go, especially with an enchanter. On the other side, you know, we already talked about it for Team Heretics.
Yes.
There's a lot of all-in. There's a lot of, you know, Wombo again as well. And Jack Spectra, he first picked this Aphelios. Like, I don't know many teams that do that at the moment. A lot of teams will look towards something like the Zeri instead. You know, something like the Azir, the Orianna as well. Even the Talia that was passed by until the second ban phase. So let's see. They cooked a little bit here with the draft. Let's see who finds their first win. After day number 1, it's been a big day already. I mean, it's been a bit of a surprise. You know, both these teams at the bottom of the groups. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I would have put Team Heretics in the bottom of their group from a slight memory of what I was seeing in their group. I can't think of it.
It is a strong group, though.
Who else is in the group? Because I can't remember. Is this a KC Blue group? In the same group as that?
I am looking. I don't remember.
It's okay. I mean, again, it's been a long night. 16 teams as well, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
If you're wondering. I'll find out. I'll find out at one point. But still, I mean, I remember seeing the group and being like, I don't think Heretics were the weakest with the roster. It's one of those things where, like, you know, there's a lot of big names in this tournament, like a lot of like either ex-big names or people that have been in the scene for a while. And you look at it, you know, and you think they probably shouldn't be the bottom. But then, I don't know. I guess people being around for so long as well, especially in the ARLs, isn't always a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, they've been around for like 10 years or something. I'm not saying they're washed, guys. I'm not saying they're washed, I promise you.
You're dangerously close to saying it. Be careful.
Dangerously close to saying a lot of things tonight, but at least we spice things up for the final game. Welcome. All right, 30 seconds in, and we're getting an invade. I think we are spotting out because I told you, Solari, this could be an invade. And for Heretics, it is. It is an invade with a lane swap.
It's an Udyr with a Xin Zhao on the side of Zero Tenacity.
Yeah.
If they don't invade with this composition, it is disappointing, to say the least.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have to apologize. I know there's been some a little bit of lag coming through. Apparently, there's just an issue with some of the servers, and they're trying to get that fixed as soon as possible. So hopefully you can vibe out with us for this last little game. Edot might be dead.
He'll have to flash. He'll be able to flash.
Definitely flash.
There you go, boy.
Okay, well, flash out, but this is still a lane swap. I mean, bot is up top side. Melonic is proxying very early.
Yes.
Actually, what a counter. Oh my god, very intelligent. I mean, this is...
Oh, he's going to sacrifice himself now. He's going to be executed.
And I bet you, does he TP top straight away? Or he's going to run top because remember, there's no wave.
He's not running top.
Where's he going? With jungle?
He's going to Blurizer. They're going to clear together and probably rotate to one of the lanes then?
Because the intelligent thing is he doesn't have to burn TP. He doesn't have to worry about top.
Yes.
Because there's no wave pushing against. That wave was cleared out, so it's only wave 2. And you know, again, with lane swaps, if people don't know, it's all tempo based. So on the third wave, usually bot lane's back because they want to burst each other, or usually it base so that they can set up for the dive, etc., depending on the wave state, right? So the wave 3 doesn't. You can't slow push this wave. It's not the same.
Especially now that you don't really have all the waves available to you as Lost Heretics bot lane that is on the top lane. How do we call them if they're bot lane but they're on the top lane?
I mean, like this, right? Look at it. So we've got a slow push coming through because this is wave 3 coming in on the cannon. So because of this Udyr stop and the proxy at level 1, we now have a dive set up perfectly. Z10 are just set up so perfect, and Carlson up against the wall. He's going to go into cell division, but he's just dead. Melonic takes up 2. Now they're waiting for the third. Harpoon with 1 himself. Up against the wall. There we go. Finally, is it done? Yes, it is. First blood goes over, and for the Ultra League, that's a massive win.
And it's only now that Heretics bot lane finally reaches the top lane turret, and they are only going to start scratching it, while on the bot lane the action has already been set and done, and Harpoon is freely taking the turret place, taking the gold in. Look at the size of the wave. He can stay here for quite some time still. And what's interesting, Melonic is still staying there on the bot side of the map, only going to recall now probably. Yes.
That's massive. Like, oh, it's such a big brain play as well. I love it. I mean, top is getting played, so let's not forget. But as Carlson comes back to wave, he flashes away. They're going to try and do this again. No cell division this time. Melonic has hit level 2, so at least has more HP to work with. Level 3 on Harpoon as well. Auto comes through, and no one dies. It's a second kill here for the Zac that didn't teleport in. And turret plating still going down. It's going to be 4 in that moment as well. Ultra Liga, are they going to do it again? I mean, Carlson has teleported in. He's dead again. He saved his teleport. He thought this time, surely they don't have the health to work with. But 4 bits of turret plating, he hasn't really been able to delay the push bot.
No, but honestly, Lost Heretics haven't been able to do much with what is happening. Yes, Jack Spectre on the top lane is getting some turret plates. It's not going to last for long because now for sure this situationship on the bot lane is going to finally end and Melonic is finally going to take all the way to the top lane. Still have the teleport all till this very moment. Ooh, flash in. They
are committing, yeah. Level 3 here. He's got a bit more, remember, but the turtle stand's put down. White in is almost dead himself. Xerxes comes through, but doesn't get the kill. Nor does Jack Spectre have the damage. I mean, this is just such a good early game for Ultra League, and I feel like Spain are grasping at straws. They're just sent off by this level 1 Udyr.
There is already 1.2k gold deficit for Lost Heretics at this moment. It is not even 5 minutes into the game. We have seen a lot of things happening at 5 minutes mark in the games today, especially with the first turret being taken at about 5:22 in the game by some very infamous Kalista.
Sure.
But Zero Dynasty are off to a great start right now, and it is looking lovely for them because they can set up Melonic to completely deliver the menace to the top lane. Blurzer is free to do whatever he wants on the map, and usually what he wants to do in such situation is to take objectives. And this is the comfort zone for Zero Tenacity because they want to be snowballing their games.
Yeah, Zero Tenacity taking Dragon for the time being as well. Blurzer, we were just talking about, with his 2 kills, fell a little bit behind because of the dive bot and the consistent push, but is still ahead in gold as Whiteend's going to try and set up the engage here. Zap comes through. Bluzor just going to get the Dragon down as well. Remember, Whiteend couldn't do anything. Getting rooted down was Kofti. It was Gravitum and the last bit of it from Jack Spectre, who ghosted to be in this fight. But still, it's Zero Tenacity who come out ahead. No take of the scuttle. Not at all. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the lag. Hopefully it gets fixed before the game's over. But as we go back to what are standard lanes, let's just quickly take stock. I think it's the fact that Jack Spectre was only able to get 2 plates versus almost a whole turret bot. But it was shared between 4 people. I think that's what we need to remember. It was shared between 4 people. So I guess we'll find out in time if it's worth.
If you look at the gold difference between the AD carries, you can see that it's almost non-existent. There is a little bit more gold for Harpoon at the moment. Might be changed soon because Blurzer is still around the bolt and no vision available for Heretics.
Bluzor coming in. I mean, he's got flash available, but as you said, Heretics without vision, they must have known or at least sensed that there was set up there. Xerxes was nearby as well. But you know why we talked about AD carries not having gold between each other? Look at Jungle, 600 gold, and he's down CS. So that's where the gold's gone, remembering that he picked so much off from the turret plating as well.
He got both of the kills, including the first play. He got a lot of the gold from the turret plates. Yes, he doesn't even need to farm at this point.
Shattering Strike doesn't connect. I was just waiting to see if Whiteend does a crash down. Bluzor is not sticking around either. Back some time as well. Tunneler now picked up though. Double longsword. A lot of burst damage. A lot of damage available. We've got to remember Zinzao, great duels in the game too. Much like Volleybet. So there is going to be a lot of all-in potential now for this level 4 jungler.
But for Blizzard, this double sword means that he's most likely going to go towards the Void grabs right now, because they are for the grabs, especially with Melonic and Udyr on the top lane being, Udyr and doing Udyr things. That is a free prior for you to go and get the objectives. However, Volibear is already there.
He's trying to proxy. He's trying to get behind the wave again and proxy. Just wait for it,
yeah. He's doing it.
I mean, again, chipping away at the turret plate of the minion wave. Still set up for another plate here. Zero tenacity. Bluezor, this is the damage. Look at this. Wind becomes lightning. Helped out by Certus, who does have Shockwave available. Xerxes, not his ult there. As he can't even contest with the rest of the grubs, can he? The rest of the grubs going to go down. 3 start here for Zero tenacity. I mean, again, it's just been such a smart early game.
Yes. It is definitely something they have worked towards, worked on, because again, the finals of Ultra League have been played a couple of patches ago, so that was not the meta that was existent even in our league back when the finals were happening. So for Zero Tenacity, that's something new that we're seeing from them. Still going toe-to-toe with what they like in their games. They're very proactive early, making sure they have many leads, especially for Blizzard and Harpoon, and so far it's looking good for them, maybe not right now.
Well, Team Heretics trying to be proactive themselves, aren't they? Xerxes level 6 with a Stormbringer, but doesn't want to commit too far, especially since jungle and mid are moving down. They're going to go over a ward. Kofte has everything up and available to send them into the turret. That would be huge, but has to walk into Fog of War where Xerxes is patiently waiting with Certus. This could be a 4v4 in the bottom side as Harpoon Erdo to just waiting, aren't they?
Yes, they are. But are they waiting for their death, or are they waiting for some help from their teammates? Because help is not coming. Kofte is coming all the way back to the mid lane. Blizzard is around, but not close enough. But there is no conflict happening on the bot lane right now. Maybe will be soon, because they're still going in.
I mean, it's for the blue buff, isn't it? It's for the invade, but Certus needs to get back to mid, because it's about to get cleared out. As Harpoon not going to be tagged up by anything meaningful. Xerxes has nothing else down here, by the way, so it's either the gank or has to go back to his own jungle, or maybe even just base timer as well. And Certus looks like he caught the mid lane wave, so nothing really lost in the end as well. Still a bit of an individual gold advantage for Bluezor, but let's not forget, Xerxes still picking up farm.
Yes.
Still able to deny some gold from Bluezor there with the invade. So not walking away with nothing. I mean, Heretics are only down 1,200 gold in the early game here, and we haven't really talked about the compositions, coming into game. Solari, and I was just kind of looking again and just seeing like, well, we talked about the all-in from Team Heretics and how they can operate.
It is not just an all-in, it isn't very long-range all-in, especially thanks to the Zac that we're talking at right now. And there is nothing at Zero Tenacity side that is going to match it. There is only, again, it is pretty much the mirror scenario of a couple of games ago, right? There is some disengage tools especially available to Blizzard and to Kofte, but it might not be enough if Carlson and Xerxes can combine their engages and go into Zero Tenacity. The burst engage might be a little bit too much for them, but it has to be backed up by their backlane. And I love how the backlane for Los Heretics looks here, because Orianna plus Aphelios should be able to provide a lot of damage to back up this engage coming from Los Heretics in an ideal scenario.
I mean, yeah, no, you're exactly right. Range is important, and the damage that comes through. 3 items in both these characters as well. We're expecting the scaling to be a big part of it.
Yes.
Zero Tenacity, we have similar feel as Dragon now spawns. We'll talk about that later on, because Zero Tenacity did start off the game with an Ocean Dragon. Second one is up and waiting. Bluezor is just waiting in brush, but he's going to get spotted out by a good ward from Team Heretics. This would be good to stack up here for the Ultra League, but depends how they get in. Magnustorm's going to start us off. Double TP as well, by the way, but Bluezor almost dead, but the ulti again popped out, and just finding a kill on White in as easy as that. Wow, though! The Zac jump in, turns a play immediately. Carlson comes on in for the Zac that found nothing in the early game. He's brought it on back, and it looked great to start off for the Ultra League, but Team Heretics something back in this game.
This is the whole idea of Zac, right? He wants to be bouncing right into the backline of the enemy. He wants to get on those 80 carries. And for Zeri, same as for Kalista a little bit earlier today, it is almost an immediate death sentence. Because even with Lulu by her side, ideally Lulu or any enchanter like Lulu should be able to provide Zeri with enough safety to survive these, especially with the ultimate from Lulu. But Lulu is the one getting engaged on as well, so she can do nothing to help Zeri out, and it's an easy double kill for Carlson.
I mean, I want to see what if we do get a chance to get a replay. That engage was insane. The damage must have come out of Certus, right? Like, if I'm recalling correctly. Because the burst just came out of nowhere. I think it's helped set up by Carlson as well. So overall, It's a nice little piece there from Team Heretics. Brings the gold back into contention, but Dragon wasn't taken after the fact. Dragon still sits there waiting patiently for the start off here, and it's just going to be traded off. I mean, 6 grubs for a Dragon apiece now.
Is it 6 grabs? No, it's going to be 3 for 3 grabs because it's Lost Heretics taking it so far.
I'm surprised. I'm actually blind because it's double Dragon. I just got the teams confused.
Oh, it happens.
It's, yeah, it's just because it's gotten late, isn't it?
Yes, it is a little bit late. It's 6th game already.
I know.
But it's a good one. It is slower than some of the games that we saw today, but I like how it's going because there is so much creativity coming from both of these teams on how they approach the situation on the map. It is something new that I'm seeing from Z10. From Lost Heretics, however, that is something that I kind of expected from them. They are the team that wants to be experimenting a lot.
Well, I'm going to get caught out here on grubs. Further to your point, I mean, experimentation is great, especially when we're in early stages of the tournament. But I will say 0 and 2.
It's a dangerous situation of the tournament.
It's a rough start. I mean, it's still manageable though. I'll be honest. There's red and white in the top side. Jack Spectre are going to be picking up all turret plating here.
Good weapons for that as well. Going to take them very quickly.
Look at this. I told you, Zac damage. Wild growth, even under turret, taking a shot. Zac's base damage kind of busted.
Yes. Like, it's
that?
not something you think about immediately, right? Because think about him more of a tankish, bruiser-ish champion, but his damage is insane. And Zeri is one of the squishiest champions in League of Legends. It takes nothing for you in the early game to take her down.
I mean, I think that's partly what I saw in the last fight from Carlson, from this Zac that was under-established. It was the early game that he suffered out on, died 3 times. The fact that Team Heretics, after this early game, have found their way back is quite impressive. I mean, it's still a 1,500 gold lead and still 2 dragons. But you now look at Herald on the top side. It looks like they might be keen on finding it. Heretics have moved up. Pings are getting spammed down. Solari, look at the mini-map.
Yes.
They're moving in here. They want to fight this.
They want to fight for this, but it's going to be hard because our ultimate's available for Z10. Almost everybody has them.
Bluezor especially. I mean, that ulti that buys time. As Herald is exposed, they back away at the end of the day. Ping's still down. They want to try and get a pick as they rotate back to mid, but Herald goes down all the same. You can't find Melodic. You can't do anything with him.
No.
But you can't find Bluezor. At least getting the ulti down is a start here. The Udi goes unstoppable. Whitein doesn't get the engage. Storm's there as now this is our ulti all the way out. He flashes over the wall and gets out as Team Heretics force a couple of summoners because of it, but still the objective taken down and is still a big win.
I like the idea from Lost Heretics. The problem is Z10 read this idea, right? Because you could see how they were positioning themselves while they were moving back from the Herald towards the mid lane. It was Melonic and Bluezor who were keeping themselves as close to the lane as possible to make sure that nobody can get to the back lane, especially, for example, to poor little Erdode, who's just a tiny Lulu, but now running around with more items. It is Ardent Crescent, right?
Yeah.
I like it. It's going to amplify Harpoon quite a lot.
I mean, support Ardent fully stacked, and yeah, the Ardent with the Zeri as well. We could talk about scaling to last a lifetime in this game, but let's be quite real. Team Heretics, they're the team who are still trailing behind. I think so far we've seen one good play, and it was from Carlson, I mentioned before. Another one possible to